Morning, my lovelies. Just getting comfortable on your mats. And just listening to your body, choosing whether you want to start lying down or seated. Up to you. If you know that you're suffering a little bit or aching in certain places, then just being gentle with your practice today as well. Satya and Ahimsa. So as we just take a few moments, arriving on our mat, allowing our body to settle, relax, allowing our mind just to sort of let any heavy thoughts just drift away for the time being. Sometimes I like to imagine thoughts just sort of drifting up in a balloon, just letting the breeze take it away for a little while. I'm sure it will come back later, anything you need to remember or do. How do you feel in your body this morning? Are you in need of your yoga practice, your stretch, your connection to your breath, mind and body? I don't think there's ever anyone that would ever say no, really. We always feel good when we're on our mat. Sacred space, this little long four-cornered mat. It really is. So just scanning through our chakras, let's start at the crown, Sahasrara, just above the top of our head, and noticing the energy here, whether it feels heavy or light, whether it feels nice and balanced. And then your third eye, often a link with your sleep as well, your sleep-wake rhythms, and the pineal gland. It's the pituitary that's linked with your crown. Throat, just checking in with Vishuddhi, noticing how we feel here, and this is linked with our thyroid. Heart center, Anahata. How are you feeling emotionally today? But also, how do you feel through the arms, all the way down to hands, your shoulders, upper back? Solar plexus, above your navel, Manipura chakra. Where's your personal power? Do you feel strong and confident today? Or is some of that affected in some way? Noticing now your sacral, lower belly, lower back, digestive system, linked with reproductive system. How are you feeling here in your creative element, how passionate you are about life? And then finally, root, Muladhara, at the base of your spine. This all links down the legs to the soles of the feet and our toes. How strong we feel in our life, how grounded, how safe we are. There are times throughout your day where you might have fear come in, where you feel unsafe for something you've heard, listened to, watched. And then other times you can feel completely safe in your surroundings amongst friends and loved ones. So it's always something to notice. So I'm going to join you lying down. If you're seated, just come into a lying position. We'll start our stretches. And it's always nice to keep our chakras in mind as we move through our poses, have an awareness of how we're feeling, what feels like it's coming more into balance. So on your next inhale, taking your right arm over, letting the hand fall to the floor, lifting the toes on the right foot, flexing, and then a nice lovely stretch. Lowering your heel, lowering the hip, and a nice reach up with the arm, spreading the fingers. It's nice to activate your palm chakras, again linked with your heart energy. And then just gently point your toes, enjoying a nice stretch over the leg. And then when you're ready, just relaxing. As we exhale, arm can just float down to the side and palms up for a moment. And then other side, deep breath, left arm. Simple movement. Notice how your shoulders feel as you Raise the arm, flexed foot, lovely stretch. And then pointing toes. And then when you're ready, exhaling, arm down. Take a moment, Shavasana, just a breath. And then we can take both arms over on the inhale. You might notice that your chin just lowers naturally, and then we can flex and then point toes and flex again. Just working ankles backwards and forwards. Reaching up with the arms, feeling the stretch in the shoulder blades. And then when you're ready, exhaling, arms down. Have a moment here. And then we can bring the right knee into chest. Hands around the shin, deep breath. Exhaling up. And just watching all the breath leave the body as the belly falls to the spine, holding the breath. And then inhaling when you're ready, coming down. Other side. Lovely stretch for the back this is. Deep breath. Exhale up. Let all the breath leave the body. Pausing and then inhaling down. And then third time with both knees into the chest. Nice big hug, deep breath. And then coming up. And then coming down when you're ready. Have a nice little rock. And roll on your back. We're going to come up to seated for our usual Paramuktasana one. All these moves we're familiar with. Sometimes it's nice to warm up in a different way, and then other times it's nice to come back to exactly what we know, what we're expecting to feel, but perhaps may feel different today. So joining me in Chin Mudra, just have a nice elevation through your spine, coming onto your meditation cushions if that's comfortable. And then we can close the eyes and take the chin down to chest, just pausing. And how does this move feel today for you? Where do you feel it? Where does it spread out? And then taking the chin up to the ceiling. And then back down. This is activating Vishuddhi, your throat chakra. It's always nice to visualize a blue here. Sky blue or royal blue. Notice what you resonate with. And then coming back to center, tilting the head to the right. And then over to the left. Same again. And left. Just taking a sort of a short pause in between just to feel and acknowledge it. Center, and now we're just twisting to look over the right shoulder. Left. And same again each side. Doing these simple movements can often reveal something we've not actually come across yet. And coming back to center. Taking the chin down and a full rotation, nice and slowly, of the head all the way round one way. And then the other. Coming back to center. Okay. Blinking your eyes open if you had them closed. Taking hands out in front of you and then thumbs in, thumbs out as we open and close the fingers. Warming up the digits. And then palms up and down. And really enjoying this stretch. Always amazes me how nice this feels over and under the arm. And then rotating. I always like to know that when we're working with the hands and arms, it's the heart, lung, and the large and small intestine meridians that we're stimulating here. And then we can turn the palms over, deep breath in, exhale, And just noticing how your elbows feel today. Bringing elbows together and then round. Shoulders, again, still linked with our heart energy. And other way. Lovely. And release. Coming off cushions, if you have them, we'll just extend the legs out. Doing lower body. As you sit down, just walk the pads of your buttocks out to the side so that you feel your sit bones connect more with the mat. And then we can spread toes and curl them. Pointing and then flexing. Bit clicky today. And then one foot over the other, rotating ankles both directions. So just other direction now. And swapping feet. Some days you'll find you might be sort of a bit more clunky than others. It's always curious. Other way. And then knee, right knee. Hands under the thigh and just gently move the knee joint. How's it feeling? And then hip. Hand around the shin, and we'll just make some circles here. Another way. Lovely. Left side now. Left knee. It's nice every week when we do this to know that we've just checked in with all of our joints. Left hip now. It's like giving them sort of a weekly MOT, isn't it? Just checking them all out, making sure that they all feel the same, better, or awareness if they do feel a little worse for wear. And then just joining me in butterfly. Have a little stretch here, opening through the hips. Take some deep breaths into the belly. Nice big breath into the chest. As you sit here, just in this beginning stretch, are you tense? Just notice if you're tense in your calf muscles or your thigh muscles. And just seeing if as you gradually release them and relax them, what you're feeling in the hips. Okay. Gently releasing. So we'll come into a seated balance, boat pose. If you have got tenderness in the lower back, what I prefer you to do is to tone this pose back and literally just come up a little bit. It's more about the balance than creating strain in the back or lifting the legs too high. This is purely about the stillness that we're achieving here. So please do observe your back and your spine. So we'll have the hands underneath the thighs, and just you can rest the toes on the mat, tilting back gently. Gently engage into your abdominal muscles and pull in on the pelvic diaphragm as well, just to stabilise here. And we're just going to lift the toes up. I'm going to come into a very gentle posture to start with. And literally just feel where I feel most still. Breathing, don't hold the breath. I often find people kind of come up and hold the breath. And then just lower. And just see how that feels in your back. You might notice it in the tops of the legs and a little bit in lower lumbar spine. So we'll come back here again and just come up again, engaging your core. Maybe you can bring the legs parallel, or still that's too high. You might want them just raised a little. Breathe, nice big breaths. And then lower. Okay, and then we'll do that a third time. I'll invite you to release the hands, but if you don't feel safe or you know it's going to actually cause more strain on the back, please don't do it. So you can come up. You don't have to have the legs high. You can just release the arms. Feel strong and engaged in your core. and stillness, and then release. Okay. You can rub the tops of your legs if you can feel that there. It's not too much of a pain or anything, but it is a sensation, definitely. Okay, so joining me standing, we're going to take a few moves coming forward just to stretch through the back and the spine. And we'll come into a cloud sequence, a nice moving balance as well. So deep breath in, take your arms up. And just enjoy a nice stretch forward as we hinge from the hips, not the waist. Come into a nice ragdoll. Bend your knees if you need to, especially if you have had a bad back lately. Sometimes it's nice to hold on to the elbows and you can sort of almost feel like you're encouraging your arms a little bit away from the body. Nice stretch of the shoulder blades, or you can just rest the hands on the mat. You can shake your head and then nod, releasing a little bit more through your neck. And then gently we'll roll up, nice and slowly, stacking the spine and coming up to standing. So a very gentle moving sequence, even more gentle than Earth sequence, is cloud. Encourages a nice little bit of balance and a movement from one side of the body to the other. So we're going to start with the arms up. Breathe in. And then weight into the right leg and just raise the leg as you exhale and draw your limbs together. Inhale as the arm and leg come down. And then exhale, raise the right knee. Inhale. And exhale. We're alternating legs. It's nice to focus on a drishti point, a point you can concentrate on. Placing a foot down with awareness. And it's a really nice way of movement combined with the breath. So we'll do one more as we lift the left knee. Just making sure you end on an even movement. And then we can bring our hands back to heart center. How did that feel for you? Sometimes you're going to feel quite nice and fluid and there's a little bit of a flow going, and other times really wobbly. But it is always just lovely to notice this. Okay, so we'll do an earth sequence this morning. Gentle sequence, this one. So joining me on the left side of your mat. We know this sequence so well. But bring to it sort of an open mind of, what am I going to feel today? How is my balance going to feel as I shift my weight? How is it going to feel as I kind of come into that lovely squat? As we extend our arms, whether we're active or a bit passive here. So feet comfortably together, we'll make a diamond shape with the fingers and breathing in. Lovely stretch through your body and then arms out wide. Breathing in. Full body breath and out. There's always something you can rest your awareness on or become aware of as you're doing these sequences we know so well. Perhaps notice if you are breathing fully, or whether you start a breath halfway through the out breath. And as the arms come up this time, the right foot comes to the side. Coming into the 3 squats. Only come down as far as you can. If your lower back is aggravated, then just a halfway squat is fine. Just a simple bend of the knees. Just testing your body. As you come down into your squat, feeling the earth beneath your feet and pushing through the heels as you raise up. And then after 3, turning to your right hand side. Arms in front, draw into your heart. Then lean forwards. Leaning back. Being aware of the weight and which leg you're actively using it each time you move in this pose. And then after 3, just swiveling over to the other side. How does your knee feel as you lean into the forward movement? Still staying with your breath. And then after 3, coming to the front and enjoying this nice releasing forward fold. Again, any tenderness in the back, just be gentle, bend the knees a little. Notice your thoughts as you move. And then gently in your own time, when you've come to the end of that sequence, we'll just draw our hands to our heart center. Have a few moments just feeling your heartbeat. Close your eyes, just tune in a little. Where are you holding tension in your body, even as you stand here gently? Okay, have a moment on your mat. Deep breaths. Where do you feel that sequence most benefits your body? It's lovely and active through the arms, where it's actually a sequence that enhances your heart energy, your root energy as well. So taking a few breaths. Gently bring the knees in. Enjoy a lovely rock. And we're going to roll up. Coming up to standing again. We're just going to go through our nice little sequence of movements with Trikonasana and Warrior. So joining me with your feet about a leg length apart. Raising the arms. Activating. So tailbone turned under, the sternum is lifted. We're active through the arms as we turn the hands over and the biceps. Feel strong here. Bringing hands to hips. And just by doing that, we're just bringing the energy up through the soles of the feet and awareness on our body. We're going to turn in the toes of the left foot and out the toes of the right. Okay, noticing where your elbows are pointing and then just swinging them back so you're in alignment with your body. I'm just going to bring your awareness. I'm starting to sort of just tweak these poses a little bit. So just draw your front foot, your right foot, just slightly turn your toes inwards. So they're just slightly in towards the midline of the body. And then we're going to come down into triangle pose. And from here, rather than just making the shape, I want you to feel the activity that goes on with stabilizing in this posture. So your front leg, I want you to imagine that you're rotating outwards the thigh. Okay, this will have an encouragement of lifting your arch, stabilizing your ankle and knee. On the back leg, have that awareness of almost sort of activating your thigh muscle and rotating it on an inwards feeling without dropping that hip, just the leg. And so you're feeling active and strong and really more stable in this posture. Gently come up. I'm going to swivel to the other side and just feel the same thing. So I'll direct you again with the legs. So just a slight in-turn to the midline of that front foot. Gently come down. Opening up through that shoulder. Try not to collapse the chest forward. And again, I'm going to have a rotation outward of the front leg. Just imagining that thigh just wants to kind of turn outwards. And an inward rotation of the back leg. And just feel a little bit more stable and controlled in this posture. Just notice the difference from being passive in the muscles. Okay, gently coming up. We'll come into warrior here, and then we can come into warrior the other side. So warrior 2, I always need to create a little bit more space between my feet. As you bend that front knee, it should be over your ankle. And just think about the weight through your feet. In your front foot, is it all pushed into the toes, or can you even out through the heel? And then the back leg as well, if it was all weighted onto the arch of your foot. Okay, and just lifting up and swiveling the feet the other direction and coming into warrior 2 this side. Feeling engaged. Notice if your back leg feels sort of weak and wobbly, and just sort of pull it in tight, that lovely feeling of strength here. Okay, and then forward facing feet. We'll clasp our elbows. Take a nice deep breath in, raising the arms and folding forwards. Holding onto your elbows. It feels nice to almost feel like you're pulling your upper arms away from the body, the stretching the shoulder blades here. Let the hands come down to the mat and walk the hands forward. Only until your heels want to lift away from your mat. Keep the back straight, almost like a down dog with wide legs. Taking a lovely deep breath here. You can feel that stretch in the backs of the legs. And then taking the hands back. You can turn the hands the opposite direction and then just walk the hands a few inches through the legs, not so that you're going to topple over, but just feeling that as well. And then coming back to centre, we're going to heel toe walk the feet in and then simply roll up, stacking your vertebrae. Roll your shoulders. Okay, coming down onto your mat, just find child's pose. Take Hatha. It's quite nice to take the knees wide, drop the head down and stretch the hands out in front of you. As you rest here, you can start to creep your hands forward and you'll feel a little bit more active in this stretch in the back of the body. And then from here, we can take our left arm underneath our right into an upper body twist. And we'll do the other side. So take the left arm in front of you and then just thread your right arm underneath the left. Some lovely deep breaths, you can feel that stretch in the upper back. Coming back to centre, walking your hands back to your body. Bring the knees together. And we'll just take a nice moment in child's pose here as well. I love the difference between Hatha and Balasana. So just drop the head down Bring the hands back to your feet. Let your shoulders just round here. Let the arms feel heavy. And some nice deep breaths of your chest against your thighs. A deep compression. This is lovely for your stomach meridian. And then bring the hands either side of the head. We'll lift the head slowly, avoiding any dizziness. Okay, I'm going to stretch out onto the belly. Coming into gradually some back bends. And then into a little cobra and child's pose flow. Just start coming down, make a pillow and rest your cheek. Take a few breaths in this very low position, but you'll probably still feel a very subtle curve to the back. Deep belly breaths, you can feel your belly push onto the mat and then your lower back open up. And then gently we're going to come into crocodile as the first pose. And I always offer this whenever anyone has a little bit of niggly lumbar back pain. This is a nice gentle one to always come into. It's quite relieving. You feel your base ribs still connected to the mat, but there's a little space in the chest. And you can feel that lovely openness for the lungs to breathe. Notice if you're collapsing your chest to the mat or whether you can have a little bit of structure around your shoulders. Taking some deep breaths. Notice also if you're tense in the backs of your thighs and your lower back and buttocks. Gradually see if you can unwind a little bit of that tension. Lower down, just make a pillow, rest your cheek the opposite way. And just aware. Deep breaths. Coming up into Sphinx now. You might some of you will have a lovely flexibility in the back. And these may seem easy, but it's nice to just work through them gradually. So here, initially, what do you feel? Where do you feel it? If this is too high, just come back into crocodile. Just come to the level that you know, which isn't going to cause pain or aggravation. Again, try not to collapse the chest. Have a nice structure and bringing the ears away from the shoulders. But also trying to relax a little into that lower back. What's going on here? Can you feel your belly fluttering? Is there tension in the abdominal muscles? Does it not feel safe or does it feel safe? Backs of the thighs might tense every now and then. Okay, just lower down gently. Again, feel that nice relief as you come back to the mat. Deep belly breaths. It's very nourishing. Lovely for your sacral energy and your solar plexus. And because we're close to the mat, this is always going to be working with our root. Coming up to Cobra. If this is a comfortable position you want to explore today, if not, just choosing one of the earlier poses. So hands underneath the shoulders, the elbows tuck in, they don't swing out to the side, and literally just coming up a little. The elbows stay bent and you still feel the pubic bone on the mat. A lot of people get confused with this pose, Cobra, and upward facing dog, up dog. And just lowering down. You're going to feel some strength in the shoulders and the arms there. Perhaps you can feel your heart beating a little faster. And then if you want to come into up dog, bring the hands slightly lower than you did before. And we raise the body. The arms become straight here. You lock into the elbows. And you've raised up. You feel your knees connected to the mat, but the thighs have come away. So very different from cobra. And then just gently lowering down. Again, make a nice pillow. Rest your forehead or your cheek. Deep belly breaths. And then we'll take the hands under the shoulders. We're going to push back into child's pose. Nice and slowly as we counterpose the curve in our spine. And you might not bring the buttocks all the way back, but just sort of fold back, feel the stretch through the body. Take a deep breath here. And then we're going to come back into a sort of a baby cobra. So lower yourself down, raising up, pushing back, and just into a nice flow. You can keep your hands in the same position. As you use the breath and this movement, you can really encourage a bit more of a curve to your spine. So tucking the tailbone under as you come into child's. And as you lift up, you can almost come into more like a cat position and then rolling your body down. You feel the feeling of cobra. So just one more and we'll end at child's pose. Just take Hasta Balasana or whichever restful position you'd like to come into. Rest the forehead down. Give your hips a wiggle if you need to. Deep breaths. Just feeling into your body what you're noticing. And then we can lift the head slowly, draw the hands back towards the body. Just turn onto your back for a moment. And let everything just realign itself. So we've done a little bit of movement of the spine backwards and forwards there, but very gently. Even when we do have issues through the back, it's still good to have movement rather than to be still all the time. But it's a gradual movement to whatever you can accept. Have a nice sigh, relax. Notice even here whether you're slightly clenched in the buttocks or thighs. Try and let it go for a moment. And then we'll bring the right knee in, and then the left knee. Have a little rock. So if you roll up to seated now and we grab your yoga straps. This is a really lovely pose that I often do in a yin practice. We use a lot more props in yin, but it's called hammock. So start lying down, but just pop the strap around the ball of the right foot. If you have neck issues, just being very gentle with this posture, just feeling into it yourself. We're going to pop it behind the back of the head. Now, I make that distinction that it is not going around your neck, that strap. It's going on the base of the skull bone, that occipital ridge area. So nowhere near the neck. It's supporting the lower part of the head. Your left leg can either have a bend in the knee or you can lay it down straight on the mat. I prefer it straight on the mat. And then literally you've created a little hammock for your head. So in this pose, where the strap is sort of just covering the tops of the ears, if it's in the correct location, you can push gently into the foot, ever so gently, and feel a nice little stretch in the back of the neck. Or you can do the opposite and let the head become lovely and heavy and relaxed, and then start to feel perhaps a bit more of a stretch through the hamstring and your calf muscle. You can have a nice generous bend in the knee, depending on how big your strap is, and you can move between these two poses of a gentle push into the foot and a neck stretch, or relaxing the head, or you can just sort of find that middle ground and enjoy whatever sensation you're starting to feel. It's nice to, with any elevation of the legs, you're going to have benefits to the heart, the fluid draining back towards the body. As with any gentle inversion. So as you enjoy this pose, you can start to explore the idea of straightening the leg ever so gently, noticing what you feel. You can notice if your abdominal muscles feel tight, whether you can relax there, and your shoulders. Every now and then you can just explore that push into the foot and what it feels like. Or let the head become very heavy. Stretching the back of the leg. And then what's really nice with this pose is part way towards the end of it, you can unhook from the head, hold on to the strap, and then just have a little bit of free movement with your leg. So you can swing it out to the side, supporting yourself, getting a lovely stretch on the inner thigh, inner leg, which is your liver, kidney and spleen being activated. You can start to straighten the leg, notice at what angle that is, take the leg across the body. That might feel strange in the hips, so just gently moving wherever it feels curious to explore. It's really lovely just to swing the leg out to the side and enjoy the stretch that you perhaps wouldn't normally ever feel day to day. And then we're just gently going to lower the leg down. Swap over your feet. So pop in the left foot in, release the right. Just have a moment before we come into the other side to feel the after effects of that lovely posture, hammock. Can you feel tingling through your right leg, probably the sole of your foot where the strap was, but noticing where it feels kind of active. And so we'll come into the other side now, raising your left leg, again, popping the strap behind the base of the head, base of the skull bone, and not the neck. And then just enjoying this side. I always find this side I'm a little bit more stiff. There's a little bit less movement, but that's fine. It's just exploring any differences you have. And again, remembering you can just gently push into your foot and feel a nice stretch in the back of the neck and head. Or let the head become heavy and feel the stretch in the leg. And then relaxing between those two poses. Soften the belly. How does it feel this side for you? Is it more challenging or in some way easier? Every now and then you can explore the idea of straightening the leg and how that feels. Focusing on your belly and your breathing and that gentle, soft movement of breath into your chest. And then when you're ready, if you want to, you can stay here if you wish, but I think it is quite nice to just unhook and have a little bit of free movement of your leg, holding onto your strap. You can make big circles with your leg or just move it in random directions. It always amazes me that every slight different change in movement or direction brings a different sensation. It fires up and activates different muscles and parts of your body. Where does it feel comfortable to straighten your leg without too much tension? And then when you're ready, just lower your leg down, just unhook your foot from your strap and just have a breath or two here. Again, like before, just focusing on what you're feeling, where you're feeling it, where your prana, your chi, your energy seems to be flowing or moving in your body. And then when you're ready, bring these into center and we're going to come into relaxation. So finding the position that you want to relax in, seated or lying down. Notice if you liked that pose. I find it quite interesting, that posture. It feels different each time. So as you come into relaxation, just making sure you're lovely and warm and cozy. Socks or tops on, blankets. So coming into a nice stillness. And just know that you have this time to yourself. It's only a small portion of your day, but giving yourself permission just to accept this little bit of rest time and just feeling into your body. So as you soften here, I'm just going to scan through the body and have a moment of gratitude for every part. We all take our parts of ourselves and ourselves for granted. It's human nature. But as you lie there, thinking about the hair, the scalp, and just being grateful for your beautiful locks, keeping your head warm, all the benefits here, the different styles we can create and characters we can extend out into the world with different things that we do with our hair. Appreciating your eyes, just having that lovely gratitude to be able to see beautiful things, to look upon your friends and loved ones, see exciting experiences and beauty that other people have created around the world, whether it's buildings, nature. Thinking about our nose and grateful for the smells that we can take in that often evoke memories, lovely memories. Often also smells that we dislike and warn us off from toxic things that we should avoid. Our ears, we can be grateful for hearing what people want to say to us, music, just bird sounds in nature, a trickling stream, a waterfall, feeling grateful for our hearing. As we come to our mouth, it is the way we can nourish ourselves and take in and express ourselves. Our lips are for kissing and sharing love. Our throat, this centre for allowing us to communicate, express ourselves. Thinking about your shoulders and arms all the way down to your hands, and we can be grateful for these two limbs that allow us to hug, allow us to do things in life, to create, to paint, to make beautiful things, to write and express ourselves in writing. Thinking about our heart, our lungs, all the internal organs that just keep going. We don't even have to think about it. We trust that everything's just ticking away. Thinking about your back and your spine and just blessing the vertebrae that you have that keeps you upright, keeps you strong and elevated, gives you that view from standing on your 2 feet to see things, to have flexibility and movement. We can think about our digestive system that takes in nourishment, the whole system, and gets rid of what we don't need. Thinking about our pelvis, organs within that, allows us to reproduce, pleasure, and then we think about our hips, this movement that allows us to walk and pivots, and we move forward in life. Again, with our knees, it's a joint that allows us to see what's coming into our future, move into our future, physically moving. Coming down to our feet, our ankles, toes, keeping us upright and balanced, grounded. And again, they are the vehicles for moving us forward in life. So it's lovely we often moan about things, but it's lovely also to appreciate all the parts that move us in more ways than just physical, emotional ways. Thanking our brain for allowing us to think, allowing us to remember, to dream and foresee. So just having some quiet time now, just anything else you can think of in your body that you would like to appreciate. So very gently now. Taking a nice deep breath in and appreciating every inhale and exhale. Drawing your mind back, noticing what those last few thoughts were. And then we can start to just gently move fingers and toes. You can wriggle into the body, come into a full body stretch. Just moving in whatever way feels nice for you. Hugging knees in. Just rocking on your back a few times. And then in your own time, you can just gently roll up to seated. Take your time, there's no rush. Listen to your body as you come up. And then when we're all seated, we can chant our 3 Oms together. It's lovely to end with the Oms because it's a nice way of activating our throat centre again. Every time you Om, you might find it's a strong Om or it's a weak one or a wobbly one. It's always curious. So just joining me, hands to chin mudra. You can let your eyelids close and we'll take a deep breath in. And then we can bring hands together, rub the palms, feel the heat. And then warm palms over the eyes, gently blinking, letting light through gradually. And we can draw our hands back to our heart. Om Shanti. Namaste.